India has an elaborate legal framework and institutional structure underpinned by its constitution, providing a number of rights enforceable in a court of law. Social and economic equality, equality before the law, and equal protection under law. Every adult has a right to elect legislative body at all levels. The right to Information Act 2005 and citizen charters put up in a number of government organizations seek to facilitate transparency in government process. Affirmative action to bring people belonging to the socially and physically challenged to the mainstream of society is part of public policy. A number of watchdog institutions oversee and check malpractices in areas coming under their purview. Protection of the environment is an accepted policy of the government, backed by the necessary legal and institutional mechanism. Committees of elected bodies review action of government in the center and in the state. E-governance systems seek to cut down delays and the scope for corruption in the delivery of public services. NGOs promote the participation of civil society in the governing process, and some have successfully forced erring government to initiate reforms to reduce corruption. Media is free and vigilant. Finally, there is an independent judiciary that interprets the constitution and upholds the right provided in it to Indian citizens, and has generally functioned as a guardian of rights and of order in society. Thus, most of the institutional structure considered necessary for ensuring good governance exists in India. Yet, the present governance structure in India have not always led to good governance outcome. A majority of people is unaware of its entitlement, and right violation do occur. The socially disadvantaged section of society and women are treated badly, discriminated against, socially segregated, and even assaulted by others with impunity. The influence of money and muscle power and corruption continue to dominate election. There are worrying trend in parliamentary process, like loss of time in the sitting of parliament due to disruption of its proceeding, participation of MPs in its work, and the declining time devoted to legislative matter. The benefit of development scheme, especially those for the weaker section of society, hardly flow to target group. Corruption continue unabated despite institutional mechanism in place to check it. So is the case with pollution of environment. The success of RTI Act is limited to the highly literate section of the media are entangled in the vice of paid news. The judiciary is overburdened, leading to miscarriage of justice in many instances. Access to courts is difficult and, oddly enough, now even for PLIs. Time consuming and expensive, scaring away the poor and the not so well off from them. The image of judiciary is also somewhat tarnished, with the number of cases of alleged corruption against judges increasing. Effort to set up a high-level, independent, strong, effective, and credible anti-corruption watchdog in the context of the failure of existing mechanisms to curb corruption in public life have not borne fruit so far. Structure for corporate governance have evolved over time and in response to problems arising from the lack of proper governance as the part of the unit dealing with corporate governance shows the corporate scenario is replete with instances of misgovernance by companies and public finance institutions PFIs and even misgovernance by joint governors companies PFIs and the government and financial fraud like vanishing companies, all of which resulted in retail investors losing their money despite the provision of Companies Act 1956. Recent steps like the amendment of Companies Act, the setting up of ASFIO and the ACBI SEBI, directive making compliance with Clause 49 regarding corporate governance by companies mandatory should serve to improve corporate governance. However, steps along the line recommended by the Mitra Committee and SARC required to be taken, especially when a financial fraud like the one at Satyam Computer Service has occurred after and in spite of these recent steps to improve corporate governance. The structure the necessary for good governance that exist in India have not thus always led to good governance outcome. This seems to have become merely symbolic structure. Only a strong political will on the part of the nation's leadership and concerted action from civil society can lead this country towards the goal of good governance and rid this country of problems that plagued us.